back to Biden and the US Supreme Court, which have dealt him a major blow on his climate change agenda. This is not surprising, surely. The Supreme Court has restricted the Environmental Protection Agency's ability to curb power plant emissions, saying Congress would have to act to give the agency more authority. I mean, basically, Biden, the government was wanting to outsource their policy about emissions reduction to the Environmental Protection Authority. The Supreme Court says, no, they don't have that power. If you want that power, Congress are going to have give the government that power. What's been the reaction to this?
Yeah, well, this was the right decision coming out of the Supreme Court, and Congress was avoiding their responsibility to make the laws. The Environmental Protection Agency is not supposed to make laws or be able to enforce them at this level. Because if you look at the EPA, what are they responsible for looking at? How to protect the environment. But they don't have to consider all the other economic factors that Congress does. And so Congress should be making the laws. The Environmental Protection Agency should be making recommendations to Congress, but this was rightly decided. And people who know the essence of it know that this was the right decision, and certainly was a slap in the face to the Biden administration. They got this wrong.
Just for our viewers to clarify this, they've got one of these environmental protection agencies, as we have, but the Supreme Court ruled that that agency doesn't and shouldn't have the power to shift power generation away from fossil fuel plants to cleaner sources. And Chief Justice John Roberts said Congress needs to speak more explicitly to give an agency that much power. Is Congress going to do this, Peggy?
Well, I think they will talk about the problem continually, but I don't know about this Congress if they're capable of getting anything done. They like to pass the blame, wave their hands at the problem, but I don't know that they're about solutions. And this was rightly decided, though, and I think it was a good decision.
Yes, just to clarify that again, and it's much the same here. The EPA can regulate power plant emissions, that's for sure, but it can't order a power plant to shift power generation from fossil fuel plants. Now, the court's 3 Democratic-appointed justices blasted the ruling. But where does this put Biden's pledge to reduce US emissions by 50% by 2030?
This is typical Democrat overreach. They go so far to the extreme. They're paying attention and being very punitive in areas that people are not primarily focused on. The American people are focused on inflation, on gas prices, on food prices, on the border crisis. That this is what the Biden administration is focused on. There's not one expert that says that 50% of emissions can be reduced by 2030, but they're going to keep championing this and beating this drum, even though they know it's not possible. We can lean toward and are moving toward a cleaner and greener environment, and we should, but this is not possible. This is a farce. They're not serious about this, and it's not going to happen. And so this was a right decision.
Biden's saying no, carbon free by 2035. Peggy, surely Justice Roberts is right when he says that, quote, we presume that Congress intends to make major policy decisions itself, not leave those decisions to agencies. This is the problem of the government everywhere. They haven't got the courage to face the electorate. They hope someone else will do the dirty work. Justice Roberts has put an end to that, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, and you said earlier that 85% of the American people feel like America's headed in the wrong direction. I have to ask, who are the 15% that think we're headed in the right direction? That's actually the question.